Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Brothers Grime podcast. And now, your hosts, Brandon and Randall Witherspoon. Enjoy the show.
Hola, amigos.
What up? What up?
Gummies.
Yes. Possibly the greatest. Oh, actually, I know exactly. So I posed this thought to my wife the other day. Is there a more satisfying food to eat than a gummy? Like, I'm talking about like mouthfeel and just consistency, everything. Like, just the satisfaction you gain from just eating a gummy.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's the most satisfying food there is to consume.
You can roll it around inside of your mouth. You
Yes.
can, attempt to smash it with just the tongue and the roof of your mouth.
I've never done that.
Oh,
I'll have
well,
to try.
Fetch yourself a gummy and quickly.
I never knew what it was
You can
missing.
just go straight. You can actually swallow them whole. I don't know if you've ever
I
partaken
have
in
done
that.
that.
Or
Both on
just chew
purpose
them
and on
like a
accident.
normal human being.
But I think that's the part that's satisfying is the chewing, is what I say.
Oh. I thought you were talking about the entire collective experience.
I mean, it is the whole experience. Yeah, I mean, you gummy how you want. But
You have to smell them first.
Oh, I often I chew one while smelling another. That way.
Of a different flavor?
I'm getting, well, no. Although that's a good idea. But no, I do the same thing with gum, actually. I open it up, put it in my mouth, and right when I start chewing the gum, I put the wrapper to my nose and breathe in while I'm chewing.
You're a freak.
I get the taste and the smell and the feel all at once. It's amazing.
Yeah, but you could, back in the day before the genius invention of the Lifesavers Collisions gummies, you used to have to take two, one of each flavor and pop them in your mouth at the same time, chew them and get
That's true.
a mixture, and then every now and then you'd mix two that didn't work well and it'd be
Pretty
terrible.
much green and anything else. It's a weird thing. A lot of green candy. I don't know why. Like, maybe it was like always because it was like green apple or something, or lime, or I guess lime would be okay, but I feel like a lot of green colored fruit flavor candies are odd.
So mine has always been grape. I hate it.
You hate
grape anything.
Okay.
The artificial grape flavoring
Yes, which
is
doesn't taste
something
like a
that I
grape.
despise because I love grapes.
Yes.
Like I like actual grapes.
Which
I
tastes
hate
nothing.
artificial grape.
I'll tell you, the worst.
That's how white I am.
Hates grape flavor. I'll tell you the worst, in my opinion at least, the worst flavor of candy to ever exist. Well, it's not very common, but when you do come across it, be aware. Banana flavored candy.
I feel you
The
there.
most disgusting thing. Okay, first of all, Runts. You remember Runts?
Unfortunately.
The little bananas?
Yeah.
That was disgusting. Then take it up another notch. Imagine a banana runt, but it's like chewy and you get stuck to your teeth. Banana flavored Laffy Taffy.
No, I knew that's what you were going to say.
They're the worst candy.
Oh, man.
Is there a worse candy than that?
I don't know.
It gets stuck to your teeth. It tastes disgusting.
Black licorice of any kind.
Well,
I despise
that's
it.
one of those weird things.
Oh, my God, I hate it.
Either love it or you hate it, I guess.
Yes, very true.
It's one of those, but I don't know anyone who likes banana flavored candy. I think that's universally hated.
Probably.
It's just not even a good idea.
No.
Oh, man, it's disgusting. See, but the thing is, I never really minded the grape flavor, actually.
Really?
I don't know why. Like, I guess because I didn't go into it expecting it to taste like a real grape. I was just okay with the grape flavoring. But
Yeah, never. My entire existence have I ever liked grape anything, grape flavored anything at all. Drinks, any type of anything, nothing.
Now, by
It's
contrast,
disgusting.
a flavor that you've always loved, peach.
Peach? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even artificial flavored peach.
Yeah.
Anything remotely close to peach whatsoever. I'm
It's a great
obsessed with
flavor.
it.
That's
I
true.
love the word. I love the color.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
the taste and the smell.
Dude,
I'm infatuated with peaches,
peach gummies. Is that a thing?
especially Georgia peaches.
Do they make peach gummies?
Peach gummies? I
Peach
do
flavored
not
gummies.
believe so.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sure
They probably
have
exist
to
somewhere.
I have not yet discovered them, ironically, because I'm obsessed with peaches and gummies alike.
There you
Yet I've never had the two as one.
We got to find that. I'm sure it exists somewhere in some obscure convenience store in Pennsylvania or something.
Amish peach gummies.
Dude, yes. I bet you they make do. It. Oh, yeah. They definitely have like a peach hard candy.
Amish folk got a sweet tooth on them.
Oh, they do. That's true. They do make a lot of candies, a lot of sweet items, dessert items. That's true. They're not really known for their anything other than dessert type foods, really, as far as I know. I mean, well, they make the heck out of wooden things too, but
well, they're also obsessed with like pickling things, canning anything.
Oh, well, they kind of have to due to the lack of refrigerator and stuff.
Depends on how traditional they are, I guess.
That's true. Now, which one's more extreme, the Amish or the Mennonite? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember. I want to say the Amish is more, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Somebody tell us that because I'm dying to know.
Yeah. What were those things that one guy used to eat that he would get from like an Amish place? They were called like gobs or something.
Gobs, also known as a whoopie pie.
Oh, that's all it was?
I believe so.
Just extra large?
I think so. Well, wait a second. Is a whoopie pie the same thing as a moon pie?
No, I don't.
Okay, no. So it's the same. It's a gob. A gob is a whoopie pie. I guess it's just a different name for different. As far as I know, I had actually never heard gob until this guy.
Right.
Whoopie pie, yes, I had heard of that before. And I'm pretty sure they're the same thing. Oh, that just reminded me of another thing. Moon pie. Chocolate, cakey stuff, graham cracker.
That's what sets them
apart.
And
marshmallow. It's like it's basically like a little like portable s'more thing. You know, it's pretty good. Right. But no, they couldn't leave it alone.
What have they done?
Banana flavored moon pie.
Help us all.
I mean, why? Why take something so good
and fuck it
completely? It's just disgusting. Oh gosh, I just thought of another thing. I have never, in my whole life, met a single person who likes, would consume, or even condones the existence of the raisin cream pies. You know what I'm talking about? It's like an oatmeal cream pie, but it's not. So it's basically, imagine that, okay, like that shape and everything. Yeah. It has the same like white cream center, but instead of oatmeal, it's just like a plain kind of cake,
right,
with raisins on it.
I bet that would really fuck you up if you were expecting like a sneak attack raisin pie. Just be like, here, man. Dude. You just assume by the shape and look without reading anything else. An oatmeal pie, you bite into a raisin.
Dude, but they're not, a lot of times, okay, first of all, I don't know most people are disappointed when they bite into a dessert and it contains raisins.
Oh, that's what I was just getting ready to use this as an example. What were those cookies that we used to get all the time? Granola or oatmeal cookies. Oatmeal. Yeah, well, they would make oatmeal chocolate chip cookies or any kind of oatmeal cookies, and you would just see the little black specks as a kid, and you'd be like, "Oh, I love those things." Yeah, expecting a chocolate chip to be in there, and it's a freaking raisin. Dude. You take it, chuck it in the trash.
Yeah, pure garbage.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom, but the raisins aren't good. Okay, so what you just said, I agree with. But the raisin cream pie, first of all, it's the first word, and they're blatant about the raisins. Right. They don't even put them in it. It's on it.
Terrible.
It's disgusting. Why? I don't know anybody who likes them. I don't know anyone who would eat them.
Well, they're obviously much more healthy for you because of the raisins, right?
Clearly. Well, yeah, definitely. Of course.
So, speaking of throwing things away as a kid.
Yes.
Once again, sorry, Mom. But she used to buy these horrendous things called Flintstone vitamins.
Yeah.
They weren't gummy vitamins. They were like a hard, quote-unquote, candy vitamin shaped like the characters of the Flintstones TV show. Okay.
This was pre-gummy vitamins.
And the only thing that I can compare their flavor to, would be probably similar to the Harry Potter vomit, like gag jelly beans. Okay,
mixed
with the grass.
Every flavor of beans.
The vomit and the grass mixed together. That's what they tasted.
True. No, you're right.
They were all orange, right? No, they were different. They were assorted colors, but they all had the same goddamn flavor.
But the orange was worse.
Oh, it was terrible.
Because they did have different flavor. Like they tried to mask it.
No.
But it didn't work.
So, what I used to do was every time she would give me one, I would typically be sitting on the couch watching TV before school, right?
Of course, watching cartoons.
Here's your vitamins. Give one to Randall. He would eat it like a good little boy. I would take mine straight in the freaking couch, right in the couch cushion, under the couch cushion, every single time. And this went on for approximately 3 months, I would say.
Oh,
so,
at least.
3 months worth of Flintstone vitamins in the couch before Mom decides, I haven't vacuumed under here in about 3 months.
No.
And they pull the cushion up, literally overflowing with Flintstone vitamins. I was in so much trouble when I got home, and it was worth it because I didn't have to suffer eating those terrible things. And so then she caught on. She was like, all right, I want to see them go into your mouth. And so I'd put them on my mouth straight under the tongue, pretend like I was chewing. Then what would happen would be half decomposed Flintstone gummies underneath the couch molding because I was still putting them under the couch. And I don't know why I didn't because I guess it would be suspicious if I had gotten up from the couch every time she gave me a gummy and like went into the bathroom.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh God.
No.
Yeah, that was
sometimes
I was little though. We're talking like I don't know, 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah. Now
logic wasn't.
All you knew is you were gonna eat it.
No matter what.
Yeah, at any cost.
Spank me, whatever you want.
Yes, do your worst. Burn me at the stake because I would rather have that than have to chew up this disgusting vitamin.
Oh, no.
Now, here's the thing. Sometimes, yes, I would take them. I would because I behaved.
Mm-hmm.
But oftentimes, as we were exiting, as we were going down the steps, remember where the steps used to be on the front porch, and on the left and the right, it was like the two, like where they had bushes and stuff. Yeah. I would like put it in my mouth and then like spit it out right there, right into the bushes.
A much wiser way to dispose of the evidence.
More. Yeah, like see your mom, and as soon as she turns around, bang, ding, yep, ding, right in the bushes. Done. Yep, I'm sure there were quite a few, and probably
some healthy neighborhood cats, no doubt.
The ant infestation probably caused by that. God, a slightly moistened Flintstone.
Who could resist that?
No, but you're right. So what I'm saying is, so they had different colors. It was like purple, orange, green, and like red or something. So they each one had like a hint of like whatever the associated fruit was supposed to be. It was like cherry, grape, orange, and whatever. But it was like just enough to where you could tell there's like a slight difference.
Barely detect
very subtle difference. But once you got past the initial, so you put it in your mouth, that's the first thing you taste. You're like, okay, not so bad. And then when you bite into it,
as soon as the candy coating starts to fade, you taste the vomit.
It was the most disgusting thing I've ever had. You're right. That's exactly what
I can still taste them to this day. That's how rancid they were.
It will never. That's the last thing.
Do they still manufacture those?
They do.
Godforsaken things?
They do. Mom gives them to Kyle,
our
poor kid, littlest brother.
Poor guy.
But he likes them. I don't know. He's too young to understand.
I don't know what to say.
But actually, I think now. Well, and of course, like as soon as you and I got out of childhood, they invented gummy vitamins.
Right.
Like literally the day after Mom gave us.
My wife actually bought me a thing of this the other day.
For adults too.
They're really not that great, but they're
a heck of a lot better.
I would have probably snuck them and ate them when I wasn't supposed to over the Flintstone gummy bear.
Oh yeah. What happened
candy.
to the vitamins?
Yeah. I don't know, Mom.
I couldn't tell you. You'd have to. Then you'd probably just stuff the canister of in the.
So she lifts the couch kitchen. There's 20 empty bottles of gummy bear vitamins.
What have you been doing?
I'm healthy as fuck.
You're straight ODing on gummy vitamins.
I'm pissing straight vitamin D.
Neon green, son. Lemon lime Gatorade. But oh man. But anyway, so we missed out on that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But I think also they make the Flintstones in a gummy version now too.
No.
So, which again, why would they even make the disgusting version anymore? You have this better option. Let's just go with that.
Yep.
I don't understand. I'll never understand. Do you remember? Oh, this is another disgusting thing.
While we're on the subject,
we were kids. So, for those of you who may not be aware, we grew up in the country, which means we didn't have town water. So, we had to so there was no fluoride in our water, obviously because we weren't on the water system of the city, or town or whatever.
Just straight up well water.
Well water, yes. So
We had to substitute.
we had to supplement with the fluoride. Do you remember the liquid fluoride?
Oh, the straight liquid fluoride.
Yeah, that Mom used to give to us in like the little syringe.
Yeah, that was rough.
It was like brown.
Tasted like piss.
First of all, so nasty. Yeah, it was horrible. Oh, I guess it helped our teeth. Apparently, I don't know how much I buy into the whole fluoride thing. But
Yeah, there's a pretty wild conspiracy theory about fluoride.
I believe it
Causes autism and all this kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, that's another weird thing. It's like, well, they know for a fact that like too much is literally like harmful. It's poisonous to humans. But I guess trace amounts are helpful.
Right.
Yeah,
Microdosing fluoride.
that's right. Yeah. Oh man, that's another crazy story. I don't really know the exact detail, but this dude, like back in like I don't even know what time, early 1900s or whatever, Joe Fluoride, whatever his name was, he I guess figured out that it's good for your teeth or whatever, and he and I'm assuming others involved, like just straight up dumped fluoride into like the city's like or the town's like water system. You know about this?
No.
Yeah, it's a thing.
That's
like
nuts.
without telling
Did
anybody.
it kill everybody?
No, everyone was fine.
Oh.
But he was just like, it's good for us. And so without telling anybody, he just like dumped barrel. He went straight Boston Tea Party with the
That's
fluoride.
crazy.
Yeah, into whatever town's water. As far as I believe, I heard that somewhere.
Reverse Boston Tea Party.
Maybe I dreamed it, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
That's great.
But, so yeah,
You
kudos
said
to
his
that
name
guy.
was Robin Fluoride?
Robin Q. Fluoride.
Oh, man.
I'm pretty sure. Speaking of Robin, that leads me to another thought. Have you ever seen the
moving
movie?
all over the place today.
Have you ever seen? Well, yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Patch Adams,
Nope.
starring Robin Williams?
No.
So it's based on a real dude whose name is Patch Adams. Well, his nickname was Patch, but anyway.
Go figure.
Yeah, I know, right? Wild. But anyway, he was. It came out in like the 90s or something. But anyway, he was this dude who like went to medical school but believed like more focus should be paid to like the patients and stuff instead of like being so by the book, you know. Basically he like thought that humor and like uplifting the patients was like actually helpful in a physical way, you know,
Right.
like creating an environment where the patients, you know, felt comfortable, at ease, you know, helped improve their health or whatever. But anyway, it was based on a real dude, and apparently, well, later on, he decides to make this his own like hospital, his own clinic that like didn't cost people money and like all this crazy stuff, and like he would just like give free healthcare and blah blah blah, and like do all this kind of wild stuff. Anyway, it's called the Gesundheit Institute.
That's awesome.
And it's apparently in West Virginia somewhere.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't think that it is actually like in use now, I believe.
Probably not.
I don't know if the dude's still alive or not, but anyway, it was a good movie. And
That's
I
cool.
thought that was kind of interesting. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that
that's
is.
pretty wild. It's like a really wild, like the architecture is really interesting and whatnot. Like just a eccentric character, you know. But anyway, good movie. So
Cool. Yeah. I have
thank
to
you,
check
Robin
that.
Williams. Speaking of Robin Williams,
Mm-hmm.
so obviously his untimely death, you know, suicide.
Right.
Well, going back, in like his films, like that's actually kind of a reoccurring theme in a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
His suicide.
Yep.
Like I just realized that like the other day as I was thinking about movies that I've seen of his, it's actually like a lot of his
Right.
movies.
Yeah. No,
Somebody kills themselves or
I just
whatever.
read something about, or not just, but not long after his, passing, I read something about that. Somebody else pointed that exact same thing out.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
dude, that's kind of insane. I mean, like, I guess he was drawn to the topic. I don't know, man. Just obviously,
It's interesting.
It's like you see the signs or whatever, but too late, obviously, you know. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, common trait among comedians.
Yeah, well,
supposedly.
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, well, and also I think with him was a whole nother thing because
Yeah.
like there's like comedians. I guess they say like most comedians are like
Depressed. and
depressed when they
whatever.
come from a bad childhood, blah blah blah, and so they have to cope with it with humor, obviously. But with Robin Williams, it was like a whole nother level because not only was that true, and he was an only child and all this.
Yeah.
Really good documentary. It's called like coming to my mind or something. I think it was like HBO or something. Anyway, really good. Came out like last year or 2 years ago. Anyway, but he was like an only child and whatever, and so super lonely. So he had to like entertain himself. So
Right.
hence like the silly voices and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But so there's like so the comedian part, but then the whole other element, I believe he was literally like a genius, you know?
Yeah.
Because the way how quickly his brain worked and how he would literally just riff on this whole, just ad lib. There's tons of material. It was just like right off the cuff,
Right.
Which, and then of course they say that like there's like that genius thing where it's like most people who are geniuses have issues because it's like their brain is just moving so much faster than everybody else that or whatever. It's hard to cope with that as well.
Right.
Or whatever. So he kind of had both things going against him, I guess. But plus he also literally battled depression and whatnot. So it was a whole other thing. But it's
sad,
terrible, absolutely terrible. But that dude was one of the funniest comedians to
of
ever
all
exist.
time. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Agreed.
Nobody could disagree with that statement.
No.
I mean, I'm not going to say you're the funniest guy ever, but because that's whatever, it's subjective. But
exactly,
definitely one of the funniest. Like if you go back and watch his stand up, first of all, don't let your kids anywhere near it.
No, it was pretty vulgar,
very raunchy, but extremely actually. But the dude was an unstoppable force, absolutely hilarious. And I tell you, another comedian, I was literally just before you got here, I was watching a little clip of this guy on the Johnny Carson Tonight Show, Don Rickles.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you like spend a lot of time listening to anything that he says, but oh, dude. I believe he too, I think he's still alive. Either he just recently passed away or still alive, can't remember. Anyway, I know he's like in his 90s, but anyway, the point is, dude was freaking brilliant, or is brilliant. We'll have to look it up later. But anyway,
this could be another Nelson Mandela or Billy Graham event here.
I distinctly remember, as you said, celebrating his funeral. But well, he was like kind of like the first of like, or like at least one of the first of like the insult comics.
Right.
So like he would just like get on like someone's show and just own them.
Yeah, roast them
the whole time. So funny. Larry King, I think he does a podcast, but anyway, I know he does like a YouTube series. It's like Larry King Now, and he interviews like a lot of people. And he interviewed Don Rickles, I guess, a few years ago. The whole time, he's just burning freaking Larry King for like an hour and a half. It's like the funniest thing I've ever seen. And he's like 90, it just makes it even funnier.
Right.
But, oh man, yeah, I was just watching him on Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, like from the 70s or something.
That's great.
The dude was just hysterical. Like he's one of those comedians that like literally just looks funny. So, like, and like he had like this thick accent, like New York or something.
Yeah.
Like, so naturally, like the combination, it just made him hilarious no matter what. But I love that. Absolutely hilarious.
So somebody posted a video, a friend of mine on Facebook this morning. It was like almost the first thing I saw after waking up. I just happened to look at my phone and saw that somebody, commented and tagged me in something. And so I was like, huh. And I was like, let me check this out. And so it's a video. I don't know if it was altered, with some sort of Photoshop or whatever. But it's a video of like this dude with, you said thick accent. It's been on my mind because I was just talking about it earlier. But anyway, so this dude like steps out of his back door. Or his ma's back door, I should say. He walks out, and there's this cat, like, just standing there staring at him. Have you seen it? And, like, its eyes are freakishly huge.
Yes.
And it's got, like, the buck teeth. It's like some deformed-looking cat. And he's like, what the fuck is that thing? He's like, New York accent, heavy New York. He's like, Ma, it's a fucking cat. And he's, like, screaming about it, and he's like, fucking blink. And it starts, like, coming towards him, and then he just kills it. Oh, God.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh, dude, yeah, you got to get to the fucking blink part.
Blink.
Yeah, because the thing was just staring at him and wouldn't blink or couldn't blink or whatever. He's like, I don't even know if that's a fucking cat.
That had to have been photoshopped.
I'm sure it was, but it was great.
The eyes were like 7 times larger than the normal cats.
Okay, they weren't that much larger.
Okay, at least 4 times bigger.
You never know, man. Up in New York or wherever the hell he was.
Yeah, some sort of strange, deformed creature. Half rabbit, half freaking cat.
Oh,
or
I don't
something.
know. It was pretty weird, though.
That's amazing. Oh, that reminded me. I don't think we've talked about. I think you like made an offhand reference when we talked about mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy I used to work with the really heavy, thick New York accent. He was from Queens.
Yeah.
He was actually an ambulance driver in New York City for a while, but which I can't even imagine. God. Well, actually, it's either really exciting or really boring because they're not moving.
Right.
It's like, well, we'd love to take you to the hospital, but we literally can't get anywhere. So,
I wonder how many poor souls bleed out in an ambulance trying to get to the nearest hospital.
Yeah, God, I can't even imagine. Oh gosh, but anyway,
they should just fly a helicopter in there and like
just all the time.
Yeah,
just pick them up.
A little claw thing on a cable comes down and grabs the stretcher and picks them up and just flies in.
Dude, it would probably be a lot more helpful.
Yeah, or like they have like some kind of like a I don't know, like a 4-wheeler type thing with a stretcher on the back, and they just haul balls up the sidewalk.
Yeah,
it'd be pretty crazy.
That's amazing.
Fuck, even like a lawnmower with like a trailer hitch on it.
Pretty much anything that can move is more beneficial than a car in New York City.
2 dudes just toting the stretcher by foot would probably achieve
like a rickshaw, but
yeah, exactly. Can you imagine?
Like running down the street.
They just like strap like little sirens and lights to their fucking heads, and
they're making the sound. Again, that would be more beneficial.
Yeah, no,
than a vehicle.
Indeed.
But anyway,
cut cost on maintenance for the ambulance. And the bill may be more for the patient, though.
Well, maybe not, because you could hire the homeless to run with the rickshaws.
Now you're talking. Yeah. Man. Now you're talking. But they probably get distracted and like start picking up breadcrumbs and shit.
2 birds with one stone. I can't
totally forget what they were even doing in the first place. Who the fuck is this guy? I don't know. Has he got a wallet?
Yeah. Somebody with wheels for feet is chasing me. I can't take credit for that, by the way. Side note, that's a Seinfeld episode where they Kramer and Newman decide to go into business together and like opening like a rickshaw business, but like rickshawing people around New York. And he gets the idea. One of them gets the idea to hire the homeless people.
Oh, that's great.
Anyway, one of them just runs away with the rickshaw and they never see him again. But
well, that's awesome.
Oh Lord! But anyway, so this guy I used to work with.
Yeah.
From New York.
What was his name?
His name was Tim McCrae. Yeah. If you're out there, Tim, how you doing? But anyway, he hilarious. One of the funniest people I've ever known. And also, he had an extremely thick New York accent, which made everything he said even funnier, as I said before. But anyway, so he moves out here to Culpeper.
Wow.
And I used to work with him, like near DC or whatever. But anyway, he lived out in the boonies.
That has to be a major culture shock for him.
It was. So he went from literally just like only living in apartments. Like, he didn't know what it was like to have a yard or anything like that. So he moves out here and he's like, one day he's like, hey, you like, is it common to see like toadstools all over the place? And I was like, what are you talking about, dude? He's like, toadstools. And I was like mushrooms? And he's like, yeah. He's like, all over the yard. And I was like, he's like, all over my lawn, And I was like, really? Mushrooms? I was like, yeah, I guess that's kind of common, in like the fall or whatever, spring. Right. I'm not sure. I don't remember what time, but probably like the fall. But anyway, he's like, dude, he's like, I don't know what to do with these things. And I was like, he's like, so I tried to get rid of him. I was like, yeah, well, how'd you get rid of him? He's like, I took a 9-iron to him. I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
He was practicing his swing and simultaneously defeating the toadstools in his yard.
Yeah. He's like,
I bet that was fun.
Oh, dude, I wish I had seen him doing it.
Oh, man.
It's amazing. But anyway. So evidently, he just grabbed his 9-iron and just started going ham on these, as he would say, toadstools.
That's great.
And he was just smacking them. And I was like...
Releasing spores all over his yard.
I was like, he's like, I took care of him, and I was like... You do realize that every time you hit one, it's flying through the air, releasing spores, like you said, all over the yard. And so you're going to probably have like 50 times more mushrooms in your yard. He's like, crap,
That's great.
He's like, they just keep popping up. I'm like, yeah, because you're striking them with a golf club. That's why.
You're aiding in their reproductive cycle.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
I thought that was awesome.
That's the same guy you told me about who, like, came in and he was like not a morning person, and
not
he said
at all.
something about he's like was bitching about being in there so early. He's like, I can't even see before 11 or whatever.
That's what he told me. So we so we worked at a Starbucks in this building, and we had to open it up the store and everything. So we had to get there at like 4:30 in the morning or whatever.
Damn.
Something crazy like that. And anyway, so yeah, he was not a morning person at all. And he once told me, I can't even see before 11. Which begs the question, how did you get here?
Right. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, he was freaking hilarious, dude. Still alive. Still is hilarious. But yeah, he was, and the customers loved him.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because like he was like he put like he would not like hop to it, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't gonna like jump right into making your beverage, and with a smile. But because he was so like salty, all the customers like loved that about him. It was like an endearing quality.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'm over there like freaking making like 25 drinks, like freaking dying, sweating bullets, and he's just literally just over there leaning against the counter, just BSing with the customers. But they loved him. They loved him.
That's great.
Oh Lord, good times.
Yep. Moved on now.
Yeah, moving on now. Well, yeah, moving on.
Moving.
Yeah, do what you got to do. That's the thing. Like, in any job you have, like, you definitely got to, like, find the best part of it, or at least make some kind of good part of it. Find the joy.
Anything you do at all. You either
Absolutely.
be an optimist, man. It makes your life a lot better.
Oh, it definitely does. Makes it tolerable, at least. I remember I used to work in a regular Starbucks store, and we had a drive-through, as they all do now. But anyway, so because of that, they only had like 5, or obviously the person running it had to wear a headset, and like a couple other people would wear a headset just in case. They'd be like, yo, I need a bagel, I need a whatever, But anyway, so like you'd get there, and like hopefully you're working with your friends, and so like you go back and grab like 4 headsets, like toss them out to your buddies,
Right.
Make sure all your friends had them, and so you're just like talking, conversing like amongst each other the whole time. It was awesome. I loved that. So like even though like that job wasn't that fun, and there was a lot of like downside to it,
Right.
we definitely we had fun anyway,
Yeah.
talking to each other, making fun of customers and whatnot.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
It was fun.
Yeah, man. There's some interesting people that work at those places. Like, I think I was telling you about it actually last week, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There was, I stopped at a Dunkin' Donuts to get a cup of coffee, right? I think I was actually on my way to meet up with you to record a podcast. But anyhow, yeah, so I walk into this Dunkin' Donuts, and I walk up to the counter to order a coffee. And no, hey, how you doing? No, nothing. No formal greeting whatsoever. I was just stared at blankly. And so I said, afternoon. No reply. Okay. Well, I would like to have a medium black coffee, please. And she turned to look at her coworker and said, I'm going to fucking off myself. And I looked at her and I said,
God.
Christ, would you like me to come back there and pour the cup? I ain't asking for cream and sugar, mother of fucking God. And she's like,
The easiest thing to possibly do.
And she just rolls her eyes and turns around. And so, at that point, I was like debating on whether or not to even accept the cup of coffee. Lord knows what she would do to it.
True.
Also, I feared for her safety and sanity. So
if she poured it.
Yeah, so I watched her pour the cup, to make sure she wasn't like going to roofie me or put rat poisoning in it or something. I was like, I gave her a tip too, dude, because I was like, man, I hope you feel better or something, and don't off yourself, man. It's not worth it.
No, man.
Go work at Sheetz. It's just right across the street if it's that bad here. But anyway, I left there and I seriously contemplated contacting anonymously contacting the authorities and saying putting in a public concern for a possibly suicidal Dunkin' Donuts employee. But I decided against it. It would have been funny. I don't think she was being serious. Hopefully not. But you never know. You can't take those things lightly anymore.
Oh gosh, no. Well, I could totally feel for her, though, because there were days when I would have much rather been lying unconscious.
Swinging from a noose.
I wasn't going to go that far. But one time when I was working at the Front Royal Starbucks, I was just having a bad day. Customers were super rude. Like, it's sad to say, but can honestly say, like, 9 out of 10 customers were terrible.
Yeah, that really is terrible.
It's
a
so
terrible
bad.
thing.
Yeah.
It's awful.
You'd think
That-
like 50% whatever, but no, it was worse than that.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure a lot of people in the public service world, would totally agree with you. That, at least around here, people are just can be really, really rude and completely selfish and not take into consideration how anything they do or can affect anyone else. And totally
their words
self-centered
or actions or anything.
Yeah, and I mean, you move further down into the South, and it really does. The people talk about that Southern hospitality and stuff, and it does seem to be true for the most part. I mean, you can definitely, anywhere you walk into a gas station or something on the side of the road, get some gas, and people just seem to be extremely friendly down that way. And at least my experience with people down there, for the most part, obviously there's rude people everywhere,
Well,
but
of course.
generally speaking, they're just much more friendly and open, and obviously, the one frustrating thing to me, however, I will say about being down south is that they are on Southern time, buddy. Like, they do not. There is no sense of urgency, no matter what it is.
Right.
They will. I walked into a Subway one time and I was in a hurry, right? Which they don't understand what that means. They don't know what they don't. They hurry. It doesn't exist in the Southern dictionary. Okay,
Right.
Urgent, neither. None of those things. So, like, man, I was standing there for quite possibly 15 to 17 minutes waiting for a very simple wrap from Subway, and I was freaking out, dude. I was like, oh my god, because I'm used to being in DC all the time or wherever,
Right.
and it's just like the split second the light turns green, if you aren't flooring the gas, they're laying on the horn, flicking you off, screaming. What's the matter? I gave you a car length.
Yeah. You better be peeling out.
Oh, it's nuts, dude. And down there, it's just so different. And but it teaches you to have patience, I guess.
I reckon. Yeah.
It's very, like I guess a culture shock for me to be down there and be like, but I do dig it. Like, it's nice if you're not in a hurry, but sometimes you just are in a hurry. Like, you're late, you got to be somewhere.
Unavoidable.
And I'm sure that gets annoying. But yeah, but I would rather take that than rude behavior. Like, I'd rather have some patience and wait a little bit longer for stuff, as long as we're having a nice conversation and you're friendly and whatever. That kind of makes up for it, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, exactly. If someone's kind to you, it's like whatever.
Indeed.
At least they were nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to the suicidal worker, when I worked at Farmer Starbucks, I was again having a rough day just because customers were terrible as usual. And I guess I had like this just scowl on my face. And this guy was like, good Lord. He's like, what is wrong with you? I was like, nothing. He's like, oh, and trying to be funny. He was like, I've seen happier people in a morgue. And I just like stared at him and I was like, it's because they finally got out. And he was like, good God. And like grabbed his coffee and ran away.
That's hilarious.
But I just like freaking people out anyway. It's just because it's funny. Yeah, so I could definitely, and it gets crazy. I will say, like, people with young or teenage kids who might be listening, like, a good job for your kid is Starbucks because it teaches you a lot of stuff. Like, you got to be like on top of your game, like, and you got to be able to deal with stress, and you got to deal with people, and you got to be quick, and you can't, be lazy and like that. So it's actually, it taught me a lot, and
that's good.
It was. So it definitely had an upside to it. Again, like, it was just mainly the customers, honestly.
Right.
Like, I really liked the job. I enjoyed like making the drinks and all that. It was fun. Take pride in what I was doing, whatever. But those customers, man, that's what made it hard. Dealing with the general public.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
Zero patience.
No, not at all. Especially with coffee.
Right.
People get super, super
picky.
Very picky.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. Which, whatever. And here's the thing. To some degree, I'm like, okay, I get it, because you're spending like $5 to $7 on a cup of coffee. Right. Like, yeah, it better be right. Sure, I get that. Which is why I always try to do my best,
right.
Obviously make good drinks. But then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, you could have just
when
made
they
coffee
pull a
at home.
thermometer out of their pocket to take a temperature reading on the coffee, you just serve them and it's 3 degrees below what they asked for, and they spit it in your face. You got to draw the line somewhere.
This is the truth. I had a drive-through customer once asked me to put 1.5 Splenda packets in her coffee.
Wow.
I was like, how do I don't have a scale. Like, how do I know?
Approximately.
Yeah. I don't know. I was really confused, but I don't know. I guess people in a hurry, whatever.
4
They like what they
tablespoons of
like.
liquid syrup later.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I swear, this is no joke. At Starbucks, I can say, because I work there, 9 times out of 10, you know what, 10 times out of 10, if you complain about your beverage, if you bring it in, they will literally just add more sweetener and give it back to you. That's it. And 10 times out of 10, the customer, thank you so much. This is so much better.
Wow.
Every single time.
That's funny.
Oh, it's great. Dude,
You're giving away,
they just want sugar.
tricks
dude.
of the trade.
I
Man.
know. I didn't say that. Just kidding. It never happened.
Your loyalty is.
I don't work there anymore, so it doesn't matter.
There you go.
But yeah, the thing, because places like that, like whatever. If you like it, that's cool. But, and that's fine. And I don't mind their coffee or anything like that. But a lot of times people who go there really just like sugary drinks, you know what I mean? And so obviously if they complain, you give them a little more sugar, they're happy. So that's what we found anyway. So
Interesting.
yeah, just add sugar.
Pretty simple solution to most of your problems.
Happy customers.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. I had one guy one time. He got a drink. He wanted like a dry cappuccino or something. And sometimes people get drinks extra hot.
Right.
And so everything there is like automated. So you literally like press a button and the steam wand, like you'd steam it, like you froth it, whatever, and then you let it heat up and it would automatically cut off at a certain point.
Right.
But then you could press a button, it was like extra hot and it would go for another however long, and then cut off. But I think like the hottest you were allowed to go was like 190 or something like that. That was like the extra hot.
Good God.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I said. But this one dude, he came on, he wasn't like a regular, but he would come in once in a while. He would get like an extra dry, whatever, cappuccino, something like that. As hot as I can get it. That's what he would always tell me. He's like, literally, I want it as hot as you can possibly make it. And I was like, well, it's going to literally burn the milk. And he's like, yeah, that's what I want.
Wow.
I was like, you sure? And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay. Because you could like get around the system. Like if you like pulled back on the lever and then like went back again, then it was just like, you're on your own.
Wow.
It would literally just keep going just forever. Like
That's
it would literally
insane.
until the milk
started smoking.
It would literally start like splashing out. Like,
oh my
on
God,
you.
boiling?
Yeah, it was literally boiling.
That's
It
terrible.
would literally harm you. Like, but anyway, so that's what this guy wanted.
Wow.
So
and did you give it to him?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
literally, you could like smell it. Like,
So what I
burnt
mean,
milk.
oh, why?
And he's like, perfection. I was like,
Wait,
can
he
you?
sipped it?
He loved it. He immediately grabbed it, took a sip. I was like,
How is that even possible?
I don't know.
Was it Satan?
Most likely. But I was very confused by that person.
You sadistic Luciferian bastard.
He was Luciferian.
You should have put a little bit of holy water in there.
Yeah, he needed
Oh,
something.
man.
Holy ice cube is what he needed. Good Lord. Here's another funny thing. So that didn't make any sense, just because A, it could literally harm you, and B, it tasted burnt. It's disgusting. I had another guy, he used to come in sometimes. Okay, first of all, like if I will often go in and get just like a shot of espresso, a double shot of espresso, and I just bang, pound it, because I want the energy, but I don't want to drink a whole cup of coffee and have to pee a million times, whatever. Whatever. And like, it's really strong, you suffer through it, bang, because it's a shot, who cares? Well, this guy would come in and he would get a double shot of decaf. Just a double shot, just a decaf. Yes. So I'm like, okay, first of all, it doesn't taste good. A. B, it's really hot. And C, you're not getting any energy from it. So what is it doing?
An acquired taste for espresso, apparently.
I mean, hey, you like what you like, but I was very confused by that person.
Yeah. I don't really understand decaffeinated coffee either.
I don't either. I mean, look, some people, like, and for a while, like, I had some negative effects from caffeine, like if I drank too much. Well, really, like on an empty stomach, pretty much. Yeah. And if you do that, then it can give you the jitters, whatever. But if you eat a normal meal and then drink coffee, you should be fine. Which is what I learned. But yeah, decaf, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, again, unless you have like medical issues or something, where you're
Right.
not supposed to drink caffeine, whatever, but you like the taste of coffee,
Yeah.
that's fine. I get
I
that.
suppose.
But aside from that, I don't know. And here's the kicker about that fellow. He was an avid bicyclist. He would literally ride his bicycle from God knows where to the store, like full get up, like, you know, like
Right.
straight up, you know, like unitard, whatever, you know, with the little hat and, you know, with the little,
Oh, man.
looks like the welder's cap and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So straight up bicyclist guy. So you'd think, dude, he needs some energy. No,
Wow.
Dopio decaf.
That's crazy, man.
Yep. So I don't know. That's yet another confusing thing that I've
Yeah.
experienced in life. I don't know. I stopped trying to understand these people.
Yeah, that's probably a safe way to go.
It is. I found with some people, like, so typically, like, you, me, and probably most people, like, analyze, probably even subconsciously, like, analyze when somebody does something. You know, somebody
Mhm.
walks up to you and says something, or somebody does something, you witness it, whatever, you automatically analyze it, and you're like, I wonder what this person's thought process was. You know, why
Right.
did they do that? You know, you try to figure out the reasoning behind why people do things, you know.
Or anything that you don't immediately understand,
Yeah,
I think,
you're like,
right?
oh, that was odd. Yeah, and then you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But
Right.
I found that just some people, like, they
Just
do
going to hurt your brain trying to do that.
literally. Like, I feel that I'm going insane just trying to understand
Right.
because it literally can't be understood.
Right.
Sometimes these people, you can't understand it because it's physically impossible. It's
Right.
mentally impossible to understand it. So
Yeah.
I just gave up on that. So now, look, man, you do you, I do me. It's cool. I'm not even going to try to bother. And that's fine. It's probably a better way to live,
Probably.
honestly.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so in other news, completely off any topic that we may or may not have been on previously.
That's fine.
So we're going to change that immediately. Black hole. What you know about that? The black hole that we have a photograph of,
Oh,
supposedly.
well, I know nothing about that.
Oh.
I mean, I know about.
So I know a little bit
the
more than you.
existence. I mean, I know.
That we you know,
That
basically
black
they're claiming to have a
holes-
picture of an actual black hole now.
Okay,
right?
well, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's
so-
like
Never mind.
I'm gonna fuck the number all up, but it's some insane amount of light years away.
yeah,
Like
unreachable.
It's
basically.
really it's so hard to even imagine how they could have possibly gotten a picture of it. It's in like a neighboring galaxy.
Oh wow!
2 hours. Yeah, starts with an N. I think I can't think of the
Oh.
name.
If you hadn't have said that, I would have known.
I'm sure. Kind of a weird name, but cool name. I like the sound of that galaxy. I would like to be in that galaxy. I tried to go there in a few hours. Beside the point.
It's not the Andromeda.
No.
Okay, because that's obviously an A, not an N.
Negatory.
That's it.
Morning glory.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't know what it is, but yeah. So that was pretty crazy. Just trying to fathom how they can even obtain a picture of something that far away. You know, is
Good
wild.
idea.
But yeah, pretty crazy. I don't know. I want to read more about it.
Yeah, I'd
But
like
if you
to
haven't
know
heard of it, if you've been living under a rock, then check it out.
like me.
Yeah, they have some pictures and some scientists kind of explaining things about it that are interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you about that. Something you could read about later. Pretty cool.
That's pretty interesting. Like, yeah, I mean, again, like with all of this stuff, it's like, it's super interesting and I love space and I love learning about it. But ultimately, it's like, does it really matter? Unless like a black hole were to just like appear beside us. You know what I mean? Then it would
probably
matter. Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, you know what I mean? It's like you got your astrophysicists and whatnot, you know, they figure out this crazy stuff. And like, that's awesome. It doesn't really do me any good. But,
Yeah,
you know
on the
what I
same page I was reading about that, I was also reading about the extremely high likelihood of a asteroid or comet or something like that hitting Earth at some point in the near future.
mean? How near?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't read into it that much.
Oh, I'm so glad
Just skimming.
I am so glad you brought this up because
I'm glad
it
you're glad.
reminded me of something. Okay.
Makes me glad, so now we're glad.
Yes, and I'm sure you're going to research this later. I hope you will. So, the band, Blink-182. You're familiar.
Yep.
Obviously.
Whole time.
Oh, you already
We're
know.
going to talk about Tom? Well, what about him?
Oh, you know.
Wow, I don't know. Tell me about it.
I don't know. Never mind.
No, shut up and tell me.
I didn't know if you knew that he was super, 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 super into alien stuff.
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I was
Tom
like,
DeLonge,
I was like,
right?
yeah, Tom DeLonge. I was like, I can't wait to tell
Yeah.
Brandon.
Yeah. That's cool. Yep. I barked
I did
up
not
that tree.
know that. Yes.
I didn't know it for a long time either, but yeah, he is
He's
crazy.
into it, buddy.
Oh man, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he is definitely. That's what he does 100% of the time now.
Yeah, he quit the band.
Well, yeah.
And then he made a show.
Yep.
And then he made
He has
another
he has
show,
like a
I
whole
think.
like organization now.
Yes,
Yeah.
To the Stars or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like To the Stars Academy.
Yeah,
or
I've listened to
something.
a few of his talks.
I have not.
Pretty crazy. You should.
Yeah.
You should.
I almost
it's tripped out.
again.
man.
I started reading about it a little bit,
Yeah.
but yeah, I didn't know if you would know about that.
Yeah,
or not.
no. I would have been thrilled if I had have just now been learning about it.
Yeah, well, you could have pretended for my sake, and then later been like, "Yeah, dude, I knew that for like 12 years. You suck."
Man.
I did watch a clip of Travis Barker. You've probably seen this too. But Travis Barker on the Joe Rogan Experience.
I don't know if I did
and
catch that
they're
one or
like chatting about Tom DeLonge's
Yeah.
obsession with alien stuff, and yeah, Travis Barker was saying like they'd be on tour in like some kind of like Midwest place or whatever, and he would get like a group of people together to go look for Sasquatch. And like,
Are you serious?
oh yeah,
That's
Like, he would
hilarious,
just-
man.
he just any kind of
What
crazy.
Barker do? Just like
He
light
just
up
went
a-
along with it.
Oh, here we go,
He's
yeah.
like, dude, I was always down. He's like, dude, we just get high on the bus and talk
That's
about aliens.
hilarious.
Yep. I never knew that about old Tom.
Yeah, that's nuts, man.
Oh my goodness. Side note, he is coming back with his other band, Angels and Airwaves.
Really?
He's about to go on another tour again with that
I
band.
didn't know that.
Yeah, side note. I don't really care that much.
No,
But I just
don't
figured
either,
that
at
for
all.
those of you who are fans, there you go. But yeah, I found that very fascinating. And apparently he has found some fairly compelling things. And on one of his shows, I don't know if it's out yet or it's coming out this month or something. There's like a dude, he used to be like the former head of some kind of specialist, something that
Mhm.
has to do with within like the government, having to
Okay.
do with UFOs or whatever, something like that. And I guess-
Extraterrestrial things.
yeah, and I guess he has some kind of information, whatever. I don't know, but
That's cool.
yeah, I don't know. So look it up, people, because I think there's some kind of show coming out on like Discovery or something.
Yeah.
History Channel, actually, I think it is. Man,
Really? Yeah, that'll be cool.
yeah. So
I'll catch that if I can.
check it out.
Record it or something.
There you go. It makes sense now that there's a Blink-182 song called "Aliens Exist."
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
I put two and two together. Finally, I was like, oh,
Yeah, and well, the name of his current band or whatever, Angels and Airwaves, is kind of
yeah.
similar.
It's a little metaphysical,
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's
very
pretty cool.
metaphysical. Actually.
Right.
They just released a new song. Again, I mean, the band's okay, whatever.
Was it called Sasquatch is Real?
Not this time.
No.
That's coming next
Damn.
month. But anyway, it just wasn't that good. I just wanted to throw that out there. But anyway.
Oh, speaking of which, I was quite thrilled. I was absolutely delighted this morning to get on Netflix and see that there's a new season of Supernatural on that biatch.
Okay, is this like season
14,
27? Okay.
14,
Good
14.
God,
I've seen every
but
single
still.
episode. But it's good. That's why.
14.
Yeah, it's because people are still huge fans.
So watch
It's
it.
an awesome show, man. It's
If
great.
they can
I'm
make money
telling
off it, they'll do
you.
it.
I really enjoy that show.
Wow, 14.
Yeah.
That's insane. Well, for that kind of show, I mean.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I know.
crazy.
Well, it's really well put together. It's very, very cool. It's a good show. I really I enjoy the hell out of it. I started to watch an episode last night and fell asleep, but
That good.
it's that interesting. Yeah. No, I was extremely exhausted last night. It was very late when I began the episode because I was so excited and I knew I was going to fall asleep. I was
Of
like,
course.
"There's no fucking possible way I'm going to even be able to watch 15 minutes of this." And
First 5 minutes.
and I was
go.
like, "But I gotta try, man."
Yeah.
I turned it on and I was out
Yeah,
in
it's
like
out,
3
yeah.
seconds.
yeah, no hope.
But yeah, so I'll try to do that earlier and watch that tonight. But yeah, cool show. Check it out if you're into that kind of stuff. Obviously into supernatural stuff. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's what's his name? The guy who plays Dean Winchester, the brother.
Right, I know his name.
It's like Jensen something, I believe.
Oh, yes, I think you're right. I know his-
Yeah, he actually has his own brewery, I heard, which is pretty cool. Aside from acting, yeah, he likes beer.
Why not?
Seems like a cool dude.
Yeah, it seems pretty chill. Do you know the name or no?
Of the brewery? No. It's where it's wherever he lives. I don't even. I can't remember. It's been a long time ago that I discovered this, but
I think
yeah,
it's
it seems pretty
Jensen
cool.
Ackles.
Jensen Ackles, yeah, I think that's his
How
last
did
name.
I don't even watch the show.
I don't know.
By the way, I don't know how I do that.
Yeah, and then his the character, or the guy who plays his brother in the show, Sam Winchester.
It's like something Padalecki or something. Jared Padalecki
yeah,
or something like that. How do I know these?
But
things?
he's been referred to as Moose in the show by Crowley, the King of Hell.
Right.
And
That old chestnut.
Randall and I have a brother named Hayden, and he closely resembles this character Sam Winchester, and so we called him Moose for a while. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that at all, but
well, you did.
I believe you. So goes pretty much most things that I've experienced. Years of sedation will do that to you.
It will.
Good Lord.
It's worth it.
Totally, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
Not at all.
It's not worth it at all.
Oh, man.
Lord. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I really, really have a poor memory. Very poor.
Yeah, I do in a way. Like, some things I remember great. Some things I can't remember at all. Like, and I've actually figured out what it is. Things that I hear, I don't remember as well as things that I see. So I guess I'm a visual learner in that
makes
way.
a lot of sense.
With the exception of music, whereas
Which
I
you
can
can't
hear,
see.
which I can't see.
Well,
Yeah, no, I mean the sound of music. You can't see the fucking sound. So yeah, no, that's the only exception for me. I hear music. If I'm interested in it,
you remember
I never forget it. Never. But like people's names, if I meet you and you tell me your name, it's gone. It doesn't even stay there. It just flies directly in one ear and out the other. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, my name's. That's all I hear. I don't know what my problem is. I will literally. I know. And I will never ever forget your face. If I've seen your face once, it's logged in my mind forever. I will never forget that face.
Yes.
It could have been from my childhood. I may have not seen you. I may have met you one time, looked at your face when I was a small kid, and never seen you again until today. I would remember your face. I might not know where I knew you from, but I would say, "Hey, I know you. I know you, man. I know you, man.
Dude,
Bruh.
I know you, bro.
But you know me, man. You know me." But yeah, no, it's weird. It's I can't remember shit when I hear it for some reason.
That's
like,
weird.
Yeah, and so like the same thing goes for like in school.
I was just about to say, how did that work out for you?
If people were, I guess I guess it was hard for me to pay attention in school to some boring ass dude just sitting there talking. Like if I read the material, good, totally fine. Recall it, bring it back anytime, right? But if you're just sitting there droning on and on, I probably wasn't listening to begin with. That's why I say I couldn't remember, but I never really was paying attention, I guess is what it all boils down to. But yeah, no, if I read something, man, I'm good. Like I can put my eyes on it. For some reason, I just have a way better chance of remembering.
Photographic memory?
Yeah, well, a little bit.
Degree? Yeah,
no, I do. Like, I definitely can picture things that I've seen. Like I was even doing it not long ago. Like I don't even. It's weird. It's like sometimes it's better depending on what it is. But like I remember looking at it was like one of those lockbox things with like a digital screen. You enter the combination, and I looked at the combination, and then like it was like a week or so later, and I hadn't thought about it, and I was like, I could just see it, and I just typed in the code, boop 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 boop, boop, and opened it up, and I was like, oh man, I can't believe I remembered that, and it was like it wasn't like a 4-digit pin either, it was like a 6-digit pin.
Oh wow.
with a special character at the end, right? Wow. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so sometimes I don't know, I just look at something and it's there for whatever reason.
Got it. Now, yeah, I definitely don't forget a face either. Yeah, it's locked in for sure.
Oh yeah, man.
And I pretty much always remember the name.
Yeah, no, I don't.
And like where I know you from and like your whole history. So it's creepy.
Well, yeah, once I'm reminded, or if I finally recall where I know you from, then it all floods back in. Yeah, blow the dust off the file.
Yeah, exactly.
Get back out, flip it open.
I remember you. But I tend to like memorize things. I don't think I've said this before on the podcast, but like I tend to memorize things that are like completely unimportant. Like that dude's name, Jensen Ackles.
Useless information.
Yeah, like, and it's usually like, I'll know like like movies that countless movies that I've never seen, or TV shows. Like I know the actors, I know their names, I know.
It's almost as if you
I don't
have
know
two
why.
nets up inside of your brain.
Yeah.
And one is for collecting important information, and the other one is for collecting useless information.
Yes.
And the one that's up there for collecting important information is just torn and ripped and has holes all in it.
Exactly. Well, I just have one net, and it's the useless net.
Oh, the useless net.
Yes.
The other net's completely decommissioned.
If it was ever even there, honestly. Years of sedation have definitely taken their toll. But now, I definitely have I can remember things from my childhood, like long-term memory.
Yeah.
That's no problem. But the short-term memory, that's where I struggle.
Really?
Especially with I don't know, maybe it's just information I'm not that interested in or whatever, possibly. But, like my wife will say, all right, blah, 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 we're doing something. I'm letting you know this now. Cool.
Right.
And an hour
Well, that's
later.
with any husband, man. It's not just you, bro.
Okay, good. I'm not alone. But I'm like, all right, cool. So what are we doing? She's like, I literally just told you. I'm like, you did? Anyway, I'm really bad with that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, my wife gets me with that all the time. And then man scanning too. Have you heard the new term, man scan? Yeah,
I think
women that
I
make
think I
fun
already
of it.
know.
Yeah. So they're
Where this is going.
she'll be like,
Go
hey,
try to
can you
find
go?
this-
Yeah, I need the Lysol. It's under the cabinet. And I'll go open it and search for 5 minutes. And I'm like, there is no Lysol. It's all gone. She's like, bullshit. I just put a new one in there yesterday. I'm like,
Right.
no, it's not there. I just fucking looked.
It
And
ain't
so she'll
there.
go out there and she'll be like, just open the cabinet without even looking in, stick
Right.
her arm in the cabinet, pull the Lysol out. I'm like, well, you're a wizard then
Yeah.
because
Yeah. You made it appear.
Yeah.
I'm convinced.
You put it there. You're framing it.
That's right.
Fuck away from me!
No, you're exactly right. It's I'm really bad with that.
Yeah.
I'm so bad.
There's even
with
memes now for man scanning out there that women share on social media. That's
I'm
pretty
sure
funny.
they
I'm sure
do.
my face is all over the fucking thing.
Dude, I'm so bad with that. As you well know, working with me, you'd be like, "Hey,
Right.
bro, go grab me the 9/16 whatever." And I'm like,
yeah.
"I got you, bro."
I do miss working with you.
I go out there, I'm like, "It ain't there." And I'd literally look through every possible thing, and then you'd be like, same thing. Come out there and just, "Hey, dude, it's literally right there. Bye bye." Yeah, I'm pretty bad about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I miss working with you because I enjoy your company. However, I do not miss working with you at the place that we worked at.
Right, doing what we did.
Doing what we did. It wasn't really so much the company that we worked for. It was doing what we did.
Yes, doing what we did. Yeah,
Christ.
it was not
back
fun.
in the day doing construction, man. Oh, I mean, whew, that's a rough way of life there, my friend. No matter what you're
Indeed.
doing, anything construction wise, I absolutely despise it. Absolutely despise it.
It is terrible.
What a terrible thing to have to endure.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh, I know. When you're obviously becomes your routine day to day. You don't even think. You stop thinking about it. You're like,
Right.
this sucks. This is my life. It
Yeah.
sucks. Here we go.
You just hate your life all
Right.
the time. Right?
You're just always pissed off. Can't remember why anymore.
Yeah, it just
Um,
becomes the new you.
Right. But then when you actually step back and break it down, what you do on a daily basis, what you go through. I'm
Right.
like, good Lord.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
terrible. Ugh.
There's no way you can do that kind of work and not be an addict of some sort.
Oh, yeah.
It's literally a requirement of the job to self-medicate, unless you're just a really sadistic bastard,
Either
a glutton for punishment.
really happy,
Yeah.
genuinely happy,
Yeah.
like a gospel singer happy,
Yeah.
or you are just sadistic, like you
Yeah.
said.
Either
you're
you enjoy torture
Yes.
or you can't
feel torture.
feel torture. One of the two.
Right. You're either completely disconnected or you just enjoy it for some reason.
Oh man, crazy though.
Oh, it's insane.
Just the people you had to, and it's so you get a group of 400, 500 guys that are all like that in one building.
Nobody
or-
wants to be there at all.
So, oh my God. You want to talk about morale? It's just, you can literally,
Negative.
you drive by a construction site, you start feeling depressed.
Oh, yeah.
It's what a terrible,
Dark
oh my
cloud
God.
on society.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
it's rough. Oh, if I even just see anything that's remotely the color of that orange color of the vest,
The safety
the
vest.
safety vest, the orange or the neon or green or anything
I have
that.
PTSD from the sound of the scissor lifts.
Literally.
Beep, beep.
Oh, God.
I snap like a fucking Vietnam vet when I hear that
dude.
shit. Yeah, man, it was
Rough.
nuts. We, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. So it was actually terrible, but it was fun. The rides there and back were fine because we had interesting
Mainly
conversations.
The rides
back. Yeah, the ride there actually sucked balls. But it's like, imagine waking up at a time when humans are literally supposed to be sleeping.
Right.
It's biologically you're doing something contrary
Just
to
completely
nature.
unnatural. Yeah.
Completely unnatural. And then you have to go somewhere that you literally hate. There was
Right.
you would rather be going into surgery
Right.
than going to this
any day of the
place.
week.
Oh, because of the sedation. But that's a side note. But anyway, and then you got to do something that you hate.
Deal with frigid temperatures and
Frigid or extremely hot.
barely humane conditions. I mean,
Yes. Either super hot or super cold.
We had to deal with using the restroom outdoors in these portable potties.
God.
I don't even know if I even.
That's a podcast in itself.
That is a podcast in itself. If you can, yeah, I mean, so like, picture like fumbling your way through the darkness to a porta potty at like 6:00 in the morning. Okay, on a freezing cold winter morning.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah. Take a screwdriver out of your pocket and break the ice off the door so you can even open it.
Yep.
Yeah, shut it. Probably doesn't even have a lock in it, right?
Oh,
so
definitely
somebody's
not.
at least like 4 people are going to open the door while you're in there taking a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, minimum.
And like, well, I mean, first of all, it's going to take you at least a half an hour, right? Because you're going to have to, bust the ass off, get in. Then you have to grab your phone out and use it as a light to see if there's any toilet paper. And then you're also, well, the first thing you would look, that would be secondary, right? You crack it open, you shine the light in, see if somebody shit literally all over every surface in the entire thing. First, I don't even know how it's possible, but that was 90% of the porta jobs on a construction site.
Exactly right.
When I was younger and I didn't really have a choice and I didn't have like a company vehicle, I would, have to use a porta john, so I would have to keep searching, and then, like I said, so you make sure that it's actually, sane, a sane decision to enter the thing. Okay,
True.
Once you enter it, you look out for like used needles and shit like that, right?
Yeah,
and then you look and you see if there's any toilet paper, and then if there wasn't, which 90% of the time there was not, so you'd move on to the next one, move on to the next one,
Absolutely.
move on. You'd find one, you'd have to deal with it. There's like sometimes if you were really lucky, there'd be a little bit of like the Purell hand sanitizer stuff in there, so you could like disinfect the seat and stuff. And just drink some because it probably needed at that point.
Yeah, it's a better decision.
Yeah, just put some on your nostrils or whatever. And so anyway,
after snorting Purell.
but literally, like, I got to a certain point. It didn't take me long to where, no matter what the situation was, I absolutely refused to use one of those things. Yeah, I would drive somewhere. Anyway, so back to the experience.
Yes.
Once you've located a proper porta potty, that had all the accommodations you desired, such as
and
or the necessary accommodations, I should say, none that you desired, but all the necessary accommodations.
Right.
Say you had to take a shit, right?
Yeah.
You'd go in there and you would grab, first of all, if the seat was down, you would have to get a bunch of toilet paper on your hand and so you didn't touch the actual seat, lift it up,
with one hand,
or just take your foot and kick it up,
Yes.
and then you would have to
still using your phone as a light.
as a light because it's pitch black.
Try not to drop it in the toilet.
You can't even feel like hardly any of your limbs, right, at this point because you're so cold.
Yeah.
So then you try to disinfect the seat or whatever. And then comes the real challenge. Mustering up the courage to actually put your ass on the seat because you know how frickin' cold it's going to be.
Lord,
oh,
yes.
man. And like, most of the, I don't know if it was just me, but, me and you and I are pretty small dudes and skinny and stuff, not much meat on our bones.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know how many times I did this, dude. I'd drop the drawers, right? I'd like stand there for a minute and prepare myself and then just be like, all right, 3, 2, 1, fuck it. And like sit down. And as soon as I sat down, I'd be like, stand immediately back up, like, oh, God, that was cold.
Can't do it.
Cold, fucking cold.
Yeah.
And it was horrible.
Basically,
dude.
it's like taking the polar bear plunge every time, working up the nerve.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh yeah, it was the worst. And then so you take the dump, whatever. It's over. You succeeded in that. You had toilet paper. You used it.
You're ready for counseling.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then comes the second and possibly more difficult mental obstacle, and that is the choice to actually get up and go back to the working environment.
Because everything that we described sounds pretty horrendous to those of you who are listening, and maybe you have never experienced that. You're probably in shock, right? So, believe it or not, that was probably the highlight of the day. Okay,
the best part of the day.
Because the conditions inside of that terrible little porta potty were far more positive than what you were about to walk into, trudge into.
Yes.
and subject yourself to the most physical and mental abuse you will ever have to go through in your entire life.
Absolutely. Super dirty. I mean, you're at the end of the day, you're just blowing, you blow your nose. It's just black, brown, some unnatural color. You're covered in dirt head to toe. You can't breathe because you've been breathing in like concrete dust for the past 10 hours.
Right.
And it's, oh man. And that's just new construction.
Right.
Oh Lord. Yeah. And we found ourselves in some pretty insane locations, disgusting and just horrible locations as well.
Well, yeah, no, I was in a horrible place back in those days, dude. Randall was my, I was the mechanic. Randall was my apprentice, right?
I was.
We did electrical work and that kind of stuff. And so he was unfortunately stuck with me every day. And so kind of one of the things, you know, in the trades is the apprentice always drives the mechanic around. Like he rode with me in the company vehicle. He was driving, you know. You're driving, dude. Seniority, right?
Didn't cost me gas money, so I'm driving.
Yeah, I would like, you know, be down half a fifth at the end of the day, 20 seconds after we left the job, and just literally just pass out because that's how horrible it was. I you know, there towards the end before I just decided to completely quit all that shit 100%. Oh yeah, man, that was rough. I hated my life so much at that point. Yeah. It was awful. You know, and like we would be like working in places that were so far away, and we'd, you know, oftentimes, you know, be in a hotel all week and stuff like that. You remember that way back then?
I tried to forget. Ugh. I've tried to forget.
Horrible. But yeah, in retrospect, it now, you know, it makes me even more happy and positive currently because of, you know, the fact that I no longer am in that situation.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, free at last. Free at last. That's it, buddy. You broke out. You're never going back.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting that you would meet some people that were like-minded. Like, you know, at least like-minded to us and stuff like that, and had similar opinions or whatever, you know, because we, you know, obviously tried to stay as positive as possible and whatever, and then you would like have like the young kid that, like, you know, old Greenhorn would stroll in there with his flashy new, you know, tool belt and like his brand new boots, never had a scuff on him, doesn't even know what a drill is, you know what I mean? And you're like, son, come here a minute.
Let me talk to you.
What in the fuck are you doing here? Turn around and run right now before I whip your fucking ass. Get the hell out of here. What the hell? Go to school. Get your fucking ass in college. Go, I don't care where. Just don't do this. Don't ever come back. I don't want to see your face here. You ever see your face here again? I'm going to beat the living shit out of you. Go home now. Rethink your life.
It's true, dude.
Why would you subject yourself to this? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Oh man,
you look like a nice guy. Yeah. You want to continue to be a nice guy? Leave now.
Get out.
Never come back. Ever. It is literally the most disheartening thing to see.
And what's up with
person.
Painters?
Oh, painters
in the construction.
Oh, I was like
so fucked up all the time,
dude. The fumes, bro. The fumes.
No, man. Well, that surely didn't help. But I have never met a sober commercial painter in my life. They were the most drugged out, most wasted. Oh my God, those guys, every single one of them, just completely trashed 100% of the time.
Because look at their job.
But it was great to talk to them sometimes. It was really lighten the mood.
Oh, great entertainment, yes.
He'd be like, what do you think of these purple walls, man? I'd be like, hey, Holmes, they're white. He'd be like, that's what you think. I'm like, right on,
bro. Yo, let me get a hit of that freaking fumes. Oh, man.
Let me get a swig of that paint, bro.
Yeah, let me get some of that primer, son. Oh, Lord.
Prime me up, my dude.
Time to get primed.
Time to get primed, Holmes. Oh fuck, dude! That thing you sent me with Adam Carolla, the little clip of Adam Carolla talking about fucking
Hispanic people at the beach.
Hispanic people at the beach. While he was calling out Mexicans specifically.
Well, Mexicans at the beach.
Mexicans at the beach, and how he's like, well, "You guys got to check this out." Adam Carolla. We're big Adam Carolla fans, by the way. We love you.
Shout
dude.
out Adam Carolla.
Oh man. That was the funniest shit I've ever heard. He's talking about how Mexicans always come to the beach and they look unprepared and seem to be unprepared because they're always wearing like jeans and like he's just like
button-up shirts.
He's like, where did you not know you were coming to the beach today? He's like,
it was like when you got in the car, did you know where you were headed?
If so, he's like, why would you not put on a swimsuit?
Why are you wearing a 3-piece suit? This is the beach.
Like steel toe boots, jeans. And and a wife beater. Seems
They always
appropriate.
look really confused.
Yeah, yeah. And they're just like, hey, this little beat home. You on the sand, bro?
Something else that so I showed Angie that.
Oh, wait.
Oh, go ahead.
One second. I was going to tell you. In my
please.
personal experience, one thing that I find humorous about Hispanic folks that I've noticed.
Probably the same thing I'm about to say, but go for it.
You think so?
Yeah.
They like burrow under the sand.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
And they're like at the beach every time. They're like, they never have any towels to lay on, right? They're just like, hey, fuck it off. And they fucking like dive in and like get the little kids to like cover them up. They're like, hey, Pedro, come over here. Vámonos, you know, and they just freaking cover them, bury them in sand, you know.
They
and
do.
All that's sticking out is like their nose and their fucking eyes, man. And they're like, yeah, man, I guess, I don't know, to keep from getting
That's
sunburned
the
or whatever.
exact same thing I was about to say.
It's warm and comforting.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Reminds
It
me of
is
home.
great.
I don't
I've
know.
always wanted to try it, like to see, but like you said, understand why they're doing it.
Oh
You know,
man, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
It's like,
It's
okay.
got to be, I don't know, something to do with a sunburn. Or,
I was, well, yeah, most likely.
Why
but-
not just use sunblock? But
or an umbrella, or just.
well, I guess because
anything.
it kill two birds with one stone. You don't have to carry anything like towels onto the beach, and yeah, and then you also don't get sunburns.
They're actually the
It's
geniuses.
got to be what it is. Yeah, we're stupid.
Yeah, we're dumb. Burrow in the sand, people. That's where it's at. So,
Get in there, you little sand crabs.
so there's a few different beach going types. So you have like the people that, you know, are there for the ocean. Like, so you have like surfers,
Right.
and you have like the boogie boarders, and you have,
Yeah.
and you have like the people who just swim.
People that are into water sports,
yeah,
right?
people who like the water,
The casual
ocean.
beach goer who just yeah, like you said, likes to float out there, which is
Yeah,
always
man,
nice.
you get in the water to cool off. Okay, right. Then you have like the sand dwellers,
Yes.
like the people who come to the beach for the sand.
Yeah.
And you can always spot like
Just to look at the water.
they start at a young age.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, okay, well, you're saying that's a third.
yeah, that is
type.
a third.
Okay, we'll just go with what you're saying. So that type that you're just about to say, they just like the idea of being at the ocean. They're like, hey,
Right.
we're at the beach, you know.
Right.
Or they,
It's cool.
you know, they
I can hear the water. I
read,
can see the water. I can smell the salt.
take a nap, get a tan, blah blah blah, whatever. That's cool. Soak in the sun. It's all good. But then there's the diggers. And they start at a very young age. We're talking like 3, 4, 5. They're the kids with the little shovel, the little spade in their hands,
Yeah.
you know, shovel and pail. They
Right.
just start digging.
Oh,
Man.
yeah.
They can't stop.
No,
And it's
they're
like,
going for China, bro.
I don't know why. Like, dude,
They have a desire to dig.
they have to dig. Yeah, every time.
The diggers.
Yeah, dude, the diggers. You always see
So we
them.
just merged two, right? People
No,
who. Or is
That's
it,
two different. That's 3 different types. So you
Okay.
got the water people, the suntan people, and then
Okay.
the digging
the
people.
diggers?
Yeah,
Okay,
they just
okay.
love to dig in the sand.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know. I was never one of those people.
Right.
I was like the ocean, you know.
Yeah.
The thing I don't understand about the digging people, it's like, okay, you're digging, okay, to presumably create a large hole, okay. So once you've done this, the water comes when the tide comes up,
Right.
fills the hole. Then they get in the hole, and they just sit in the warm water.
And urinate.
But dude, why do you have to make your own pool when the entire ocean is right there?
I want my own ocean, mommy.
I guess. I don't understand.
You deserve your own ocean, little Johnny. Claim it for yourself.
That's right.
Oh, you missed one category of
Yeah,
folk
yeah.
at the beach.
Oh, please.
And that is the people who don't even go to the fucking beach itself at all. They go to they go to a beach city or town, right?
Yes.
They swim in the hotel pool the entire time. They might walk down to the boardwalk or whatever you have there, the concrete walk, depending on where you're at, and gaze and oh yeah, there's the beach. Take a few selfies. Back to the pool. Back to the pool.
That's it, buddy.
The pool dwellers, man.
Oh yeah. Which, I mean, I wasn't even gonna bring that up because I don't consider that a beach goer.
Well, they're
But I know what you mean. They're at
They're-
a beach town, like you said. But yeah, there are those too, and I also don't understand those people. But
people that hate sand. That's those people, the sand haters,
Oh,
right? The sand
yes.
dwellers that hate the sand haters.
yeah, they're in a constant conflict. Yeah, no, you're right. It's like, and the
They're
people
both
that like,
haters of the opposing party.
yeah, that's right. And the thing is, about pretty much every group except for the water people, like also excluding the pool people, but so like the diggers and like just the sun people, it's like you're missing out on the only positive part of going to the beach. The sand sucks. The heat sucks.
Right.
So you got to get in the ocean to cool off.
Sweet relief.
That's exactly, literally, the only good part is the water, the ocean. Everything else is terrible.
Right.
And yet they don't take part in the only good part. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you people. Well, here's a question I have for them. Why not just go to the desert?
True.
Save yourself some money.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay in a fancy hotel. Stay at a Motel 6 in Arizona.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You shouldn't be able to acquire the same thrill there.
You got sand. You got heat.
Yep.
There you go.
That's all you want.
That's all
you
they want
get.
in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yep.
I don't
It takes all kinds, man.
I reckon. Maybe like the sound of seagulls. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Oh, man. Seagulls. Those were fun.
They're fun to mess
Sky
with.
rats, as they're referred to.
Yeah. Chucking bread at them.
Taking shits
to
on
'em.
hot girls.
That's it. Since the beginning of time.
Yep. I always enjoyed the idea of flying a kite at the beach.
Oh,
Even though I only did it like once. It was a really cool kite that like somebody bought for me. You could steer the thing. It's got we're both doing the steering motion in
The
midair right now.
dual-fisted.
Yeah. You had two strings.
Yes.
One would pull right, one would pull left.
Dual
And
wielding.
you could make the thing do, like 360s, but you had to remember to unwind it and do 360s the other way or whatever,
Otherwise you get all
Yeah, otherwise
tangled
you're
up.
going down, Holmes. But you could make this thing dive, like turn on a dime too. So you'd be flying this kite, and I remember it being like young and like holding onto this kite, and it was like almost like hard for me to do because I was small, and it was like trying to pull me. But then so you would like have this thing fly over to the left and then dive down, take a nosedive, and then like try to cut it up.
Sharp as you
you were
can.
trying to go as close to the sand as you possibly could and make it bust a Yui and shoot back up.
Yes.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun, man, and. Yeah, I got to get my hands on one of those.
Yeah.
I haven't flown one since I was a small child.
I think Mom and Dad still have that kite in their garage.
There's no possible
in
way.
their shed.
No way.
I think so.
Are you serious?
I think they have a kite. I don't know if it's that kite, but I'm pretty
Wow.
sure they do.
Well, we only ever had one, and it was that
It's
one.
got to be that one.
I wonder if the mice have chewed holes in it yet.
Yeah, mostly. Well, that's true. But
Well, either way, I have to see it, man.
yeah, we must rummage through.
It was red.
Was it just red or was it multicolored? I thought it was like
I
red,
thought it was
blue,
red.
and-
That's all I remember.
I thought it was multicolored. I don't know. Again, you're probably right. I'm probably right. I don't know. I'm dreaming of some other kite.
Yeah,
But-
it was great.
Yeah, I forgot about the kite people. Yeah, that's another group.
Well,
yeah.
nowadays it's like the drone people. There are no more kite people.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah,
Well, I haven't been
yeah.
to the beach in years.
Oh
so.
Christ! I go all the time. But yeah, they had people flying drones, and it's I've seen people like chucking beer cans at them too, like in the evening, because they'll like fly it up by the hotels and be like peeking in people's balconies and windows and shit. Yeah, oh yeah,
That's
man.
creepy.
Yeah, I saw a dude chuck a beer can. He didn't hit it, but he chucked his
that's a
beer
shame.
can at the drone out there. And nobody knows who's doing it. It could be a kid in the same hotel or whatever, and they're
Yeah,
just flying
right.
things around, little punk kids.
Yeah, of
Back in
course.
our day, it was just the laser pointers. They get down on the beach.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh man, the green laser pointer would be shining it up at all the hotels and getting in all kinds of trouble.
Oh yeah, or from the balcony.
from the
Yeah,
balcony
of
down onto
course.
the beach. And
Yeah, like the two.
cut that shit out!
Yeah.
I see your ass up there, you little bastard.
Yeah, like the people, like the family of 5 on like that weird like cart, like bicycle
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You're like trying to get like the grandpa in the eye, like with the laser.
Oh my god, yeah.
That was always a sorry bunch.
Yeah, it was, man.
Nobody's having fun on that thing.
No.
It's going. First of all, it's ultimately up to the dad
Right.
to pedal the entire thing.
Right.
The kids aren't helping you. The wife's like trying to pretend like she's helping. She's
Right.
not helping.
Nah.
And then like the little kids, so like they have like the little ones like up on the front, and the other little
Right.
kids, they're too short to reach,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not having fun because they're going like half a mile an hour,
Right.
and it's really hot.
Yeah.
And poor grandpa's sitting up there like trying to pound as many beers as he can. You're like,
Nowadays they all just
Just
hop on like those bird scooters, electric scooters now, and just like
yeah.
ride as groups.
I
And
didn't think about that.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
The
I rode
scooter
some. Yeah, you ever
gangs.
ridden those?
never actually ridden
Yeah,
one.
they're pretty fun. They
No.
move pretty rapidly.
Dude, I've seen some. I swear they like differ in like velocity.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Because some of them you see, they're kind of going.
I've only
whatever,
tried the
but-
Bird brand or whatever.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, they move pretty quick. It was cool.
Mhm. Maybe it
Um,
has to do with. Maybe it just has to do with battery life.
Yeah, I
but
don't
I've seen
know. Who
some people
knows?
freaking flying.
Well, there's lots of different companies and brands of
Oh
them now.
yeah,
so.
that's true.
Yeah, I'm sure some of them are manufactured to move a little bit more quickly.
Yeah, they have them. Well, they're all over the place now.
Oh, yeah.
you see them all the time in DC, of course
Mhm.
now. But actually, the first place I ever saw them was in Portland, Oregon.
Really?
Yeah, when we went out there. And so I was like, what is this scooter? This is crazy.
Yeah, I know. Virginia Beach initially got really, really pissed off about it. I was reading an article about that.
I can see. I see why.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, basically, they didn't like it, you know? Like, nobody said anything or, like, contacted the county or whatever. And they just, like, all of a sudden just, like, showed up with a big van and, like dumped, like, 50 scooters all over the place and just laying around. And they were like, what the hell is this? You know, you can't just leave scooters laying around. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, where does it say we can't? You know, up yours.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know, they worked it out because that was, like, years ago and they're still everywhere now.
They must have put some kind of tax on it or
probably
something.
So, yeah. Yeah, they got to get their cut, man, for sure.
But basically, that's all it boils down to.
Yeah,
obviously, that's everything. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Well, I know at least out in Portland, they have like bike lanes, obviously, and they're like super bike friendly and stuff out there, obviously. But the scooter people would just like ride in the bike lanes,
really,
just like. But the cool thing about that was like, instead of being off to the side, I thought it was a pretty good idea. Their bike lanes / scooter lanes were literally in the center.
Oh, that's crazy.
So that like you can see them better.
Yeah, that's how it is in DC. Like right on Pennsylvania Avenue, if you that bike lane is exactly how you described it. It's in the center. I think they even have barriers up. Like they have like they're not like concrete or anything, but like the plastic like
reflective whatever.
Like tubular shaped cylindrical shaped.
I know what you're talking about.
With the reflectors, yeah. So they have those up, like a wall of those on either side, and there's a bike lane directly in the center of Pennsylvania Avenue. Yeah, yep. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, at least you see them.
Yeah, exactly.
You're less likely, I guess, to bump into them, run over them. Whatever they can do to make it safer, because I know they have at least in DC, there's all kinds of. Well, they tend to have a lot of like bicyclist injuries.
Oh, absolutely,
all the time. Because
there's so many people, moving around
tourists
via bicycle,
plus people who work plus, and then you have like the food delivery stuff, and oh man, that's a scary job.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it's the same, inherent danger of riding something like that, whether it's a motorcycle or a bicycle or anything like that. Obviously, is far more dangerous just because of they're not very visible on the roadway. So it's a dangerous thing to do.
It's just
ride at your own risk. But really, that and it's going to be drive at your own risk because if you hit somebody and accidentally, God forbid, seriously injure them or kill them, then you're going to be totally your fault. It doesn't matter if they darted out in front of you and no warning and there was no way you could possibly stop.
That's true.
Yeah, so that's why I drive like a grandpa around there, man. Because I obviously wouldn't want to hit anybody.
Of course not. God.
Yeah, pretty crazy, man.
God bless you, people.
And so before we end this episode, I'd like to remind you guys out there listening that if you enjoy our show, please give us a review and rate the show on iTunes. It helps us out big time.
Absolutely. We appreciate those of you who have been listening, and we hope you enjoy the content as much as we enjoy bringing it to you.
Hey, if you made it this far, thanks so much for tuning in. We really hope you enjoyed the show.
Stay grimy.